This week's edition of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Dolby.
Intel Core i7 processor.
And the absurdly simple Virgin America Visa signature card. The good old ASVA VCSC. Damn it!
Perfect.
Starship Alpha 2. They're from the planet Q, which, due to a space-time loop, is stuck in 82 and must be rescued. They need our heroes to discuss the latest news and give their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. We swear this is all true, not just the premise to the Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 87. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
The Totally Rad Show's weekly dose of all things rad. We go to the local Cinematheque, as it were, go to the concession stands, grab a box of nerds, runts, and goobers.
Nerds is very apropos.
It is.
Runts and goobers aren't too
Shake them up
off
in a
either.
bag and throw that rad crap in your face.
I have to point out that Steve, we've said this, we've done 87 of these, and Steve was actually mouthing the first part of it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you were like, we go to the local, and then you like
Steve.
stopped.
We
You were like,
broke Steve. Amazing. Speaking of breaking people, how about killing people? Look at
It
the
looks
three of
like
us.
we have been entered
Bonafide.
into MI6.
Yes.
We are
We've
now
been inducted.
Yes. This is Alex.
We've reached
What was
00
Alex's last
status.
name?
Ressner.
Ressner. Alex
He's
Ressner.
given us backgrounds before. Awesome, fun stuff.
Great
that
stuff.
Puts us in Bond.
It's a little controversial. It was a little controversial. We had a little
What?
discussion because
I objected. I have to admit.
you know, this is
Love
probably
you, Alex.
the first background that we've
Ressner.
used that doesn't actually include our logo.
But I was overruled because of the cool.
We were overruled by the
Because
cool
we're
factor.
aliens.
But just don't, you know.
Had to make room for us.
Let's not make a
This
habit
is
out
the
of it.
exception, not the rule. TotallyRadShow.com. Download that.
Let's keep those people
Download
who
that
are-
logo and let's keep everybody in their place.
Let's keep the people who are donating their time to make us backgrounds. Let's keep them in line.
Dude, yes. You're gonna give us free stuff. Give us what we want.
Speaking of people finding images and putting them up behind us, I would like to.
Oh, come on.
I would just like I just want to clear up a
Scolding me.
a miscommunication.
What? What
I
happened?
wasn't even going to call you out, but now that you did.
What?
But
Do
Steve
it.
didn't catch it, so.
What? Say it.
There's a miscommunication last week when we
Humbling.
talked about the Assault on Precinct 13.
Yes.
We talked about
weren't
John
talking
Carpenter's new
Carpenter.
movie.
Yeah, you
And we
weren't talking
said
about-
he's done some great earlier work, and we mentioned Assault on Precinct 13,
I
and
will
we
say that
accidentally used.
that actually took me back because I was like, really?
Yeah,
Really?
That's the only reason I want to bring it up is because people may have seen the remake and said, that's not so good, what the hell are they
That's what I
talking
was
about?
thinking.
But he made the original Assault on Precinct 13 that is very good. It actually was done before Halloween, so it's his second
That's
movie.
just a few weeks ago.
Yes.
So it should be out anytime. And,
I recommend seeing the original, don't
all
be
right.
confused. There you go.
Now that that's out of the
No
way,
one knows what we're talking about.
let's talk about stuff and things.
This week in movies, we have two reviews for you. The first one is Quantum of Solace.
Ooh, it's a lot of solid.
It is the first direct sequel to a James Bond movie. So it's not, sometimes they have nostalgic references in the other films, but this is actually directly taking place after Casino
the
Royale.
events in Casino Royale.
Right.
Interesting.
And it's directed by Mark Forster, who is an interesting guy. He won Academy Awards for, or his films won Academy Awards, Monsters Ball and Finding Neverland, and just did Stranger Than Fiction. Although he did Kite Runner last year, which I did not like.
Stranger Than Fiction.
Yes, I love Stranger Than Fiction, definitely. So this is his first action movie.
Hey-o.
But
Guns and bullets and stuff.
there's something very interesting. I noticed for the first time I think I've ever seen the second unit director being credited in front of the film. And it's a guy named Dan Bradley who did the action stuff in the Bourne movies.
Weird.
But very peculiar for him to get an above-the-line sort of credit.
Who directed Casino Royale?
Martin Campbell, who did the Zorro movies.
Why did he not come back for this one? Because they got somebody better?
I don't think it's because they got someone better. They do switch up directors, but I think there are directors who have done
Odd that it's
multiple
like
ones.
a
it's odd.
direct
especially
sequel.
I don't
remake
know
or
the
sequel.
I don't know the
Reasoning?
the politics surrounding that.
Interesting.
But
Yes.
so James Bond, Casino Royale, I think we all loved, right?
Casino Royale, we all loved, yes.
I didn't love. I liked a lot. I thought that the second half of the movie did not live up to the first half of the movie.
Agreed.
Well then, there we go.
Huh.
Second half of the movie, not so good then. This follows directly after that, Alex. What did you
Correct.
think of this?
I'm gonna say that it was good. It was not great. It was not great. As I'll say, I'll just reiterate that. It was good. I think what happened was, here are a few things that were wrong with it in my eyes. One, James Bond is now a superhero, totally invincible, can do no wrong. Two, is prescient, can run into a room and know that that bowl, if I flip, will be in the face of the guy coming straight in. And I was like, I don't buy that. There was something that was sort of, in the Jason Bourne movies, it's like, he doesn't just grab the telephone book and hit him in the head with it. He sees that there's a telephone book. You see him make the connection to it. He grabs it and then hits him in the head with it. And with this, it's just choreography, in my eyes, for a lot of the running sequences and stuff.
But James Bond's never been grounded.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, are you a James Bond guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wholeheartedly. But it wasn't like it was not grounded in totally.
You mean Moonraker?
No. I know it's not. But the thing that was grand about it was it wasn't Hudson Hawk. It wasn't, I jump off a cliff and land in a thing and I got the straw and everything's cool. No.
Roger Moore movies.
Watch them again because it wasn't, it was a little bit of like the bike, pulls up and I get off and there happens to be a girl there and I sit down and have a taco. But that's different than I'm running through a kitchen and I, without looking, throw this thing up and it happens to stop the guy. It just seemed a little far-fetched in those moments. Here's what I think the reason why I thought the first one was great and this one was not. Because the first one was such a different take on James Bond that I think is what made me go, oh, it's like the gritty, real version of James Bond.
The Jason Bourne version.
The Jason Bourne version. And I think that's why the latter half lags a little, is because when that starts to wear off, you realize it's not actually all that great a movie. Well, there is no, it's like the gritty James Bond. It's just, okay, yeah, he's doing things. The other thing is, I think a lot of complaints from the first movie was there were like 1-2 really great action sequences, very front-loaded, and then not very many action sequences. So what did we get? We just got action sequence after action sequence after action sequence. If he was chased, he got chased every 15 minutes. On a boat, in a car, on a plane, walking. You know what I mean?
This is bad?
It is bad when it's just in there to be in there because people wanted more of this. He's running again. He's on a boat again. So I didn't really like it as much.
Interesting.
I think that's why I did like it. I thought, you nailed on the head what I didn't like about Casino Royale was that the first action sequence in the film is the best action sequence in the film.
Yeah.
And it didn't escalate. It ceased to reinforce that, and it was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
And here, I felt like we had cool action sequences a lot, and I really liked the movie. I think a lot of what you said is accurate, but it's interesting to me that I had the opposite reaction.
Yeah.
That I sort of started to miss what's cool about James Bond. We've got Jason Bourne, and he is the grounded sort of grunge 90s version of like anti-glam James Bond.
Yeah.
I don't need to see our James Bond stripped of that. I want a little Q. I want a little kind of cool gadget stuff. We don't need to go overboard how some of the Pierce Brosnan movies were.
Well,
where
but
it's just
I love that
advertising.
stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm glad that stuff was in there. That's why I love Bond.
Right, and I kind of missed it here. I also, you might want to spoiler cam this, but I feel like it needs to be said, is that you have the villain of this piece is a diminutive French guy who at no point is a physical threat to Bond. Why is the final confrontation between them a physical confrontation? At no point should Bond be threatened. We've seen him do some crazy physical stuff. And in fact, that's one of the things I liked most about this movie is how it's shot is so visceral, and we go through the window with Bond. There's so many things that I felt like I was there, and I really dug the kinetic action of the movie. I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
I honestly I couldn't tell you the plot, but I kind of don't care. I still had a fun ride.
Right.
I definitely had a fun ride too. I don't want people to think I'm hating on this. I just thought it was good, not great.
Right. I agree with both of you guys. I enjoyed the movie. I think I realized watching James Bond movies in general is a lot like watching a hospital drama in that I never know what they're exactly talking about, but I know the feeling of what I'm supposed to get from that scene.
You know the good and bad, but you're not quite sure why.
Right. There's so much like mumbo jargon stuff thrown out, and I never know why is he going to Bombay. I know he's going to Bombay and he's going to kick butt there. Not in this movie, but like you know what I mean. Like he's going to a different country now because something bad happened there. I have no idea what the bad thing was, but he didn't like it, and now I need to see him kick butt in that place.
Yeah.
So. I think that speaks to a little bit of what you were feeling as well.
It's interesting, just real quick, it's interesting, I've been playing a little of the Quantum of Solace video game also.
Yeah.
And the way the video game is structured is it bounces back and forth between Casino Royale plot points and Quantum of Solace plot points, and it structures them in a more linear way, so it like actually makes more sense than the movies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a learning tool.
I will say that I think this had some of the best action choreography for an American film by a non-Hong Kong filmmaker of the past 10, 20 years or something, 10 years for me.
Wow.
I liked it so much more than The Matrix.
Really? Bourne movie?
I liked it more than the Bourne movies. I thought the actual Fisticuffs stuff was great. Gonna use that word a little more often now. Help me out.
Great?
There. Bring it back. No, Fisticuffs.
I got it.
And the car chase in the beginning, now I don't know if I can credit this to Mark Forster or Dan Bradley, apparently, the second unit director, but
That car chase was awesome.
it does the thing that is very hard to do when shooting action, where you want to have intimacy and show the people experiencing the thing, and you want to show the moment and be close up and gritty, tight on the moments, but you also want to show the geography of chase scenes and of car chase scenes and of fighting scenes. And this really was able to manage both. It was able to give me that intense grit and geography in those wide shots.
Yeah.
And even in that action, I actually felt like he did like see the pen on the thing and grab that, and like in the rooftop just when he slid down and then he used that, he just sort of was being flung across the roof as opposed to him having superpowers. But I kind of know what you're referring to as well with.
Well, considering he slid off a roof, landed in the proper position to be able to get, I mean, I was like, if that was a real human being, he's dead.
But in the earlier James Bond movies, you see him do that with his hair perfect, and in the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, you see him kind of fumbling to do that as opposed to being crisp and clean.
I disagree wholeheartedly with that, but that's okay.
But I think that's okay. Anyway, so
did you like? Was this a great movie for you? I mean, was this better than Casino Royale?
I enjoyed it more than I loved Casino Royale when I first saw it. When I saw it again, the end was just so terrible to me.
It is. It's
that
pretty bad.
I could not fathom saying it's a great movie.
Right. Yeah.
And this, I didn't enjoy anything really but the action.
But there's a lot of that.
The intrigue at the end, I started to get into a little bit, and I started to understand more what was going on, so I enjoyed it more. I don't know.
Say, yeah, the very,
feelings.
very end, the end that sort of wrapped up Casino Royale thing, was pretty epic. The like very, very end, like movie plots were over.
Oh, I know what you're saying. The denouement.
All right, let's get to the second movie.
Anyway,
I was going to say the croissant, but that's okay.
The next movie we're going to talk about is Slumdog Millionaire. So this is the next one from Danny Boyle.
Danny Bizoyle.
Who's a director. I mentioned Peter Berg as a career I admire for the similar reasons. I admire Danny Boyle's career so much. He did Trainspotting, he did Sunshine, he did Millions. You know, so he did this drug movie, he did this space movie, he did the kid finds a bag full of money movie.
Did he do 28 Days Later?
And he did a zombie movie with 28 Days Later. He's just done every different kind. He's done a lot of movies. Shallow Grave.
Shallow Grave.
Yes,
Love that movie.
He did A Life Less Ordinary. I can listen.
I like Shallow Grave a
but-
lot, man. It's a great movie.
And now he's just done Slumdog Millionaire, which is about set in India, and it's about a slumdog, you know, a kid referred to as a slumdog growing up in poverty in India, who wants to be a millionaire in India, and the movie is structured so that as he's answering each question on the show, you sort of see how this kid who grew up in poverty would have acquired the knowledge to answer that question. What did you think of the movie, Jeffrey Kanata?
I am also a big fan of Danny Boyle. Really loved Sunshine. I loved how this movie looked. I loved how it felt. I loved the setting. I loved the India-ness of it. I thought all the actors were really interesting and great. But to steal a phrase from Alex, at the end of the day, it's a really conventional movie. And if you take away the unconventional setting, it is very paint-by-numbers Hollywood movie. And I was disappointed ultimately by that. I found a lot of the leaps of logic or feasibility to be kind of preposterous. And if this had took place in America, I would have hated the film. I really would have been like, I don't believe a second of this. I can't suspend my disbelief, you know? So I ultimately, there's a lot to like. There's a lot of charm to the movie. It's not something I think people should really seek out. I don't think. It's kind of conventional. I love the end credits.
Yeah.
But that was wonderful. And there's a lot of themes that are nice, but really it's just a very conventional Hollywood movie.
Okay, I want to ask you specific things after, because I mean,
Let's not the Jeff show.
All right, yes.
Because I disagree wholeheartedly. I love this movie. I thought it was great. I didn't know anything about the movie going in, and when it started, I was like, wait. It's about Who Wants to Be a Million, like literally, that is about it. And then you get into it, and it's all, for me, it was the first time I really felt like I was put in the position of actually seeing what life is like growing up poor in India, which is, one, unbelievably devastating just to know that actually happens.
Yeah, right.
But two, the sort of hopefulness that came out of that to me was amazing. The sort of like, it's bad, but it doesn't have to steal your soul kind of environment, you know? And for me, I didn't think there was anything rudimentary about the story. I mean, as soon as I realized what it was, that they were literally going to show you this kid's life story through the eyes of a television game show, and why he needs to justify his answers, to me, was like, this is an amazing, raison d'etre for the movie. Like, to me, it was like, this is amazing.
Well, you may not know denouement, but you knew that, whatever that was.
I threw that in because of denouement. That's for you, Danny. That's for you, Danny.
I like it when you do
So for me,
Fisticuffs and raison d'etre.
Yeah, that's great. So for me, it actually really, it rose above. That said, I did see two people walk out of the movie, so I can definitely see how it's not a movie for everybody, but me personally, front to back, I really, really enjoyed it.
You know, people walked out of my screening as well at a very intense scene. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might have been right after that happened, yeah. Because there are a lot of...
I kind of enjoyed the movie too. I don't know. I was very taken out of it. I thought that while the filmmaking was really awesome and cool, it was very much not invisible. And because of that, I was sort of removed from a lot of the story in the beginning, which is where I needed to be.
Dutch angle.
Yeah, which I think, but really cool. Like, I liked it, and I think if there's people that will affect in the way that he wanted to affect. But I had an experience where I was removed from it. But by the end of the movie, literally the last scene, I wasn't really feeling much of the movie, but the last 15 minutes, I was in it and I felt it and I got emotional. So I can't give this movie a like, I loved it, nor can I give it was mediocre or I hated it. It happened to me in this way. But I would say it's a movie to seek out.
If you haven't seen City of God, see that before this.
Yes, and there are.
This is City of God meets Running Man meets a little Forrest Gump.
Because it's a game show.
Yes.
You should never pitch a movie.
Ever.
I love City of God, but I know why you're comparing them, but I kind of feel like it's unfair to compare them.
Yeah, it's not that kind of.
It isn't that kind of. There's similar themes in someone who comes from that place, getting out and reflecting, but.
Yeah.
It's City of God with a lacquer of Hollywood on it to me.
See, I want to ask you more about that because any movie is a conventional story with other drippings on it to make it feel different. You can say that about any movie. So I want you to clarify in the things that hit you in a way that you didn't like, because I think to get more specific would shed some interesting light on how you felt.
I found the 1-to-1 ratio of knowledge to question to be stretching my ability to suspend my disbelief.
I agree with that, actually. I actually wish that we had seen some things along the way that it was like, I was looking for how he got that knowledge in the thing that happened. I wish that we had seen a larger chunk in the past, and then it ends on, that's how he got the knowledge.
Well, there were times where there were really long flashbacks.
Yeah.
And they also jumped questions, I think. They kind of jumped around that you didn't see the answer to every single one. But also, you're right, some of them were really quick, like, oh, hey, but I think that was put into the movie to show you that sometimes it's, that at the end of the day, this kid was just lucky. You know what I mean? There was some points at which... Yeah, right, exactly. And
that was a brilliant point.
Yeah.
Let me just say, my brother actually said walking in and said it would have been nice to agree with you. My brother said it would have been nice if some of the things wouldn't have been some drastic circumstance that gave him the answer. He just casually came across a little more how life would be. Mm-hmm. So I think you're saying subtler things would have given them knowledge than
and really ultimately the story of the movie is a pretty mundane one, I thought.
So we saw Slumdog Millionaire this week.
Yes.
We thought it would be really freaking cool if somehow we could play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, but not about smart questions, but movie questions.
Right, like movie.
Yeah, not like science questions.
Yeah, because what's more topical than a hit 2004 television show?
Right. Anyway.
On the nose, my friend.
Anyway. Well,
Anyway, 2000, maybe even earlier than that.
I think it was.
It was. I was in
Diapers.
college? Freshman year of college when it happened.
Really, was it?
Freshman year of college. So 2000. Anyway.
Pre 9/11.
We wanted to see if we could do that show. We don't know how though.
Yeah, we gotta figure it out. Maybe there's some sort of scientific explanation.
Question 1 for $100. What animals got aboard Samuel L. Jackson's plane in Snakes on a Plane?
1, kangaroos. 2, bunnies. 3, koalas. 4, snakes. Computer equation?
4 snakes.
Final answer?
Yes.
Computer G. Correct. Head shake from Boba Fett.
Heyo! For 200. How many vampires traditionally killed in movies? How are vampires traditionally killed in movies?
1, poison lunch meats. 2, bullet in the head. 3, stake through the heart. 4, attacked by wild cougars. Cougars are out this year.
Poison lunch meat is enticing, but I'm gonna go with stake through the heart.
You have $200. Ding. Question for 500. What was the name of the evil doll in Child's Play series?
Trinkles.
I'm gonna go
1.
with 4, Chucky.
4, Chucky, all right.
You have 500. Which large movie studio's opening title logo prominently features a mountain?
1, Paramount. 2, DreamWorks. 3, Universal. Or 4, Everest Productions.
I'll go with 1, Paramount.
Final answer.
Yes.
Correct! You have 1,000 nothings. For 2,000, which country did Clint Eastwood steal the Firefox from?
1. Japan. 2. Russia. 3. East Germany.
Firefox.
4. China.
It is a helicopter movie starring
No.
Firebirds and Firefox were the two helicopter movies that I knew from my childhood. Saw Firebirds with Nicolas Cage. Didn't see Firefox.
None of this is leading to an answer.
It also wasn't a helicopter
I'm gonna
movie.
have
It was
to
a movie
go
about the
with.
SR-71
I'm gonna have to go with
Blackbird.
odds on this one.
Hit odds quickly. Quickly.
Quickly with
Odds.
Timer's coming in.
Looks like the audience likes answer 2.
I was gonna guess Russia.
Oh.
And it says
You
Russia.
going with the audience?
I'm going with the audience.
Correct!
Correcto! And it was about
Thank
an
you,
SR-71
audience,
Blackbird,
for that.
not a helicopter.
For 4,000. During what war was the drama Cold Mountain set?
1. The U.S. Civil War. 2. The War of 1812. 3. The War of Independence. 4. WW1.
That was the war to end all wars.
Civil War.
Final answer?
Computer G.
Is it your final answer?
War of Independence is interesting, but I'm gonna stick with Civil War.
Final answer.
Computer G.
Yes.
Correct!
I'm actually scared a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
For 8,000 nothings. In which movie do we see singing Japanese high school girls in a nightclub?
1. Blade. 2. Lethal Weapon. 3.
This is interesting.
Memento. 4. Romeo Must Die.
Wow! Interesting, guys.
Going for 8,000.
I immediately, when I saw,
Or you could stop right now
You could.
and get 4,000 nothings.
I'm interested in Romeo Must Die. I'm very interested in that being the answer. I don't remember. I don't think we
Timer is happening. You have one lifeline.
Very
'cause
little
we're
left.
not using.
Or you can stop
We're
now
not doing
and
the
cash
question mark?
out.
Can I do
No.
a question mark?
No, we're not giving you the. It's the answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Romeo Must Die.
Romeo Must Die. Final answer?
Oh my God, yes.
Final answer.
Whammy! You
Computer
get
G.
nothing!
Computer G.
You could have had Red Snapper! You get nothing!
I love it.
Okay, here we go. What did American Gangster deal with?
Japanese surfers, cross-dressing vampires, organized crime, or undead unicorns?
I'm gonna go with 3. Organized crime. Final answer.
Correct!
Hey, Gandalf the Grey.
What was Casper in the 1995 Steven Spielberg produced flick?
A dog, a robot, a serial killer, or a ghost?
I'm gonna go for the friendliest of all ghosts.
Interesting trivia, directed by Brad Sibberling, I think. Complete the famous movie phrase, go ahead, make my
Bed? Say it again.
Complete the famous.
No, just the quote.
Oh, go ahead, make my.
Sandwich.
Go ahead, make my.
Day.
Go ahead, make my.
Year.
I'm gonna go with 3.
Correct!
Hey.
Brad Pitt was married to which actress?
Whoopi Goldberg, Jennifer Aniston, Kira Sedgwick, or Sandra Bullock?
I'm gonna go with 1. Whoopi Goldberg. No, I'm just kidding. 2. Jennifer Aniston.
You are correct.
You made 1,000 absolutely nothing.
Thingies.
Where
I have to
did
say, I'm getting a little nervous. It's crazy.
where did the 1990 adaptation of The Lord of the Flies take place?
A garbage dump, an abandoned prison, a deserted island, or outer space?
Now, Alex, this is the 1990 version, not the original black and white.
Okay, so I'm gonna say a deserted island. Number 3.
Final answer?
Are you sure?
Yes.
This is the 1990 version.
Yes.
Not the book.
Yes.
You are correct!
Okay, here we go.
What game did the Worm Guys play with the pizzeria girl in Men in Black 2?
Trivial Pursuit, Twister, Strip Poker, or Monopoly?
I believe this is Twister.
Are you sure about
I'm
that?
not sure about it,
Final answer?
but I'm gonna go ahead and just use this is my final answer because I want to use the other one. So I'm gonna say Twister. 2 Twister.
Really? No?
No.
You can
Final
pull
answer.
the audience?
Final answer.
Correct!
I'm currently now at the place where Dan lost.
What animal did it rain?
This has got a sting for Dan!
What animal did it rain at the end of Magnolia?
Trout, dead butterflies, frogs, cats and dogs.
I believe it's frogs, although Dan is going to love the fact that I still have yet to see that movie.
Ooh, it stings. It stings to the Trachtenberg.
I'm going to use my odds just to be on the safe seas.
Odds it is. The audience likes
I'm
frogs.
going to go 3 frogs.
55%.
I'm going to go 3 frogs.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Oh!
Yeah!
He's in the real money now.
Okay, here we go.
Put these Stephen King movies in the order they were released from oldest to most recent.
Apt Pupil, The Shining, Misery, The Dark Half.
No lifelines here, no
There always
lifelines.
has to be that weird one.
Yes.
Order, fastest fingers question. Order.
Dark
Order it up.
Half.
Not much time.
Definitely Shining, Misery, Apt Pupil.
Ding dong dong.
But the Dark Half,
Ding dong
I have
dong.
never heard of.
It's about fictional character
Timothy.
to life. Oh, don't.
Oh! Oh, well, in that case.
Timothy was wrong. Timothy's wrong.
Yeah, no, it's Timothy Hutton, and it was.
Time is
Time
happening.
is happening.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. I'm gonna take my 8,000.
He's quitting.
I'm quitting. 8,000.
You walked away with 8,000.
First question is: who directed E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Jurassic Park?
Good thing Kevin isn't sitting in that seat. Number 1, Steven Spielberg.
Final answer.
Okay.
All right. Correct.
No need to dilly-dally.
All right. Which of these actors was originally a comedian?
1, Eddie Murphy.
Final answer.
2, Wesley Snipes. 3, Farrah Fawcett.
Very good. Which movie character is a superhero?
1, Spoon Man.
Spoon Man.
2, Detox. 3, David Gale. 4, Daredevil.
Oh boy, I don't know. I could feed a lot of people with 200 nothings, but I'm gonna risk it. 4, Daredevil. Final answer.
Oh, locking in. Correct. I'm totally just gonna choose the wrong one. Which movie was shown in 3D at theaters?
Spy Kids 3, American Tail 3, Lethal Weapon
There was
3,
an American Tail 3.
Lethal Weapon 3,
Still under the same bright star?
or Back to the Future 3.
The answer is Spy Kids 3. Final answer.
Sure about that? Yep.
Oh!
It's a lot
Which
dollars.
of these movies involves a bank heist?
This is actually a weird question.
Well, I got it. Answer.
Hard to Kill, Killing Zoe,
Killing Zoe, what's it about?
Wait a minute.
3 Days of the Condor,
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
Beep, 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 roll
Interesting. Let me hear your thoughts.
No. Well, I was immediately I thought Reservoir Dogs, but they're stealing diamonds in Reservoir, or they're stealing from a jewelry store in Reservoir
Ah.
Dogs, right?
I don't
Dan? I know, but Killing Zoe. The answer is 2, Killing Zoe.
2 Killing Zoe.
Sure about that? You don't want to poll or anything because
Killing
it's a
Zoe.
tough question.
All right, here we go. Oh!
That was a tough one.
What country is Borat from?
Wait till you hear all the answers. You don't really sure. Number 1, Kazakhstan. Number 2, Pakistan. Number 3, Australia. Number 4, Armenia.
The answer is 1, Kazakhstan.
You're at $4,000.
Oh boy, it's getting
You need to get this next question correct.
I
in
have
order
not
to be
used a
in
single
the
lifeline.
competition. What did Hildago refer to in the 2004 Actioneer?
Heroes, Indian given name, local word for sandstorm, city name, horse's name.
I'm going to use hubris and think that I know this without even using a lifeline.
Hubris isn't an option.
Let me type that in.
I instead of the smart thing, because all I need to do is get this next question right, and it would be to use a lifeline, but I believe I know it, and it's 3, city name. Final answer.
Final answer?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you positive?
No, I'm not.
Here
I'm
we
not
go.
positive. I'm
Final answer.
doubting myself.
Final answer.
Have you seen this movie?
Epic!
What was it? What was
The
the
horse's
horse's
name. It's the
name.
horse's name.
I've never seen it.
Oh my
God, you
The
blew
movie's
my
about a horse
mind.
and his horse.
Can we
named
talk about
Hildago.
Champion? How much fake money I took home?
I
Thank
should
you
have
very
used the
much.
fucking lifeline, but I was hubris.
Wow.
You know what I learned? I learned not to guess about movies you've never seen.
Especially, you also learned that Hildago is a horse.
I did. And Viggo Mortensen will F you in the A if you
I think we both learned to use the lifeline if you have it.
And
It's-
quit.
You know what's interesting?
The one thing that we learned is quitting is the right answer.
Quitters prosper.
Yeah, quit while you're ahead, perhaps?
Yeah.
Dan, it is exactly what you were talking about the other night when we were playing Gears of War 2, and you were saying
Greed.
it's about greed versus
Need versus
conscience.
It's in Gears of War 2 when you pop up and you're taking hits and you go, but if I just get
But I
out,
think I got it.
I think I got it, and then
I
you
just
die.
stay out of cover a little longer
Yeah.
because he's about to die.
And
then
if you
you're
just
dead.
go back in, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what
Play
comes.
safe. You know what that is? That's the tortoise and the hare. You know, it's like
Yep.
slow and steady wins
It's
the race.
freaking Slumdog Millionaire in the movie we just saw.
I don't-
Actually, it's not really.
I
I
don't
love
recall
that.
that.
I love that you brought it back around to some sort of movie.
So as I've said the last few weeks, we are in a unbelievable torrent of video game releases right now. It seems worse than last year.
It does.
And we're trying to do our best to get through as many games before the holidays as we can, so you can have informed buying decisions based on what we think.
I should be 80 by about then, so.
Oh, jeez. But to that end, before we get into the games we're actually reviewing this week, I wanted to mention Animal Crossing is a Nintendo game that I'm not going to force these guys to play because I know you guys will hate it.
Thank you.
But who I did,
we love about you.
I did give it to my girlfriend, who loved the DS version of Animal Crossing and played the living crap out of it. And she played the new Animal Crossing City Folk for 2 hours and walked into my room and said, "It's the exact same game." So do with that what you will. We're not going to review it beyond that.
Thanks to our new rad sponsor.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it is really the only big Wii release of the entire season. So I figured it needed to have at least lip service.
Gotcha.
While you're lip servicing things, maybe also Mirror's Edge came out this week, but our review won't be.
Right, it'll be next week. Like I said, we're trying to get through as many games as we can, and so we may be behind on some of the big releases. Mirror's Edge will be next week. Hopefully we'll get through as many of them as we can. We'll try to circle back and get some stuff we missed. But this week, we're getting the big showdown of the two
PS3 vs Xbox 360.
Yes, the exclusive shooters, basically. We got Resistance 2 on the PS3 and Gears of War 2 on the 360. And these are, exclusives to their own console. And a lot of kind of the identity of the consoles are based in these games. So we're going to start with Resistance 2, which is the PS3 game. The first Resistance was a launch title with the PS3. And so, like I said, a lot of the identity of the PS3 was wrapped up in that title. Resistance 2 takes place, you play the same character, Nathan Hale, and the bad guys, a lot of these sci-fi games have aliens, or they'll have
Bugs.
they'll have
Mutants.
you're killing me. Viruses.
Viruses.
This game has both, so alien and a virus, and it has infected the entire world. The first game was in Europe, and now we're in America. So there's levels that take place all across most of the West Coast, which is an interesting thing for us because we live there.
Correct.
I know, Alex, that you have.
I have a thing.
You have a thing with the controller of the PS3.
Yes. Yes.
So you don't need to rehash that.
Yes, I
or
won't.
you can.
I won't. Because
You don't like
that's
playing
just
first-person shooters with that controller.
And that honestly is just our buddy Jerry is the exact opposite. Doesn't quite understand the Xbox 360, so it's just apples and oranges.
I think you just insulted Jerry.
I will, because I called him an orange face, which he is. I made a terrible mistake. I played Gears of War 2 before I played Resistance 2. And I think that was a mistake, because I could not get more than 3 hours into this game. I just could not. It was one of those things where and I don't think it was entirely the game's fault. I think that it was just because of the experience that maybe talked about later, sitting by myself and just going, oh God, I don't want next level, please. I just gotta get through this stupid game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in order to convey some of what I think may have been the reasons why it didn't really connect me like certain games can and have done, is I don't know if first-person shooters is really something that I'm into anymore. I feel like we've kind of transcended the straight-up get a gun, shoot, first-person move around thing. It frustrated me to no end to see the guy that I'm running next to, AI, grabbing cover around the corners, making these amazing turns and looks and ducking and shooting, and I just walk up to a wall.
Yeah. There's no cover system.
There's no cover system,
Right.
but then why show me the AI guys doing these amazing cover feats when I also know it's possible? Again, problem for me in the order in which I played. And so I just couldn't really connect to it. It also, the scope is amazing. I
Well,
mean,
that's a
the
big thing that they
scope
reinforced is
huge.
scale.
Scale was great. But then I felt like my interaction with the scale was really sort of on rails. It was like, shoot that thing. Just, no, not that part. No, wait for it. No, not that part. Just that part.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, now go do the shooter again.
Right.
So I just couldn't get into it.
You're fighting giant, 12-story tall things, but you're not actually fighting them. You're moving to point
Yeah,
and
you're
picking
just-
up the one weapon that can kill that thing.
Exactly. And that to me was just sort of like a set. It was almost like set pieces in a movie,
Absolutely.
and I felt like I wanted more than just that set piece in a movie. And again, I feel like I may have shot them out of order. So I don't want to slam on it too much because I think people can enjoy this game a lot. I think if you have a PS3, I
And
thought
you didn't have a chance to
pretty-
play the co-op or the multiplayer, right?
No.
Okay. Dan?
I had a very different experience than Alex. I quite substantially had a different experience in that I played Resistance 2 before.
Correct.
I played Gears of War 2. But I thought a couple of things struck me about the game. One, I thought the friendly AI was great. Not commenting on what you're referring to, the cover system or whatever. But I just thought that I really felt like I did with COD 4. I was a part of this great team of guys, and they were actually helping me. And enemies. The other thing, I think this game has some of the best enemies of a first-person shooter. First of all, visible dudes.
Really? You like
I
that?
loved them.
Visible one-hit kill guys?
Love them.
That they kill you instantly?
Yeah, because they also, I think that balances the fact that they kill you instantly. Wait, did you say
I'm saying they kill you
But you
instantly.
kill them instantly too.
But
But
they're
the
visible.
way that they come out, from where they come from and what they do to the way you interact with the game, I find really fun.
Okay.
And then, I think this game does moment-to-moment fun really well. Like, just whatever they did to design it, I always knew where I was going. I always knew how to get there. And I just felt that they set up how I need to get there and the way I use cover, and there was some platforming, a tinge of platforming involved which isn't often there in a first-person shooter. I found that to be really fun, and visible guys and the swarm. There's a level where this swarm of like nanobots are coming.
Also instantly kill you if you touch it.
But the way you deal with that battle, I found to be breathtaking and really fun. I did have some problems with it, but I will talk to them after I review Gears of War 2.
All right. I can't disagree with you more, Dan. I think the single-player campaign in this game is lousy. Lousy. It is far worse than a lot of games we've reviewed in the last couple of months that have gotten a lot less press and a lot less hype. Games like Company of Heroes and, it's not haze bad, but it is lousy.
Let me ask you, I thought this was far better than my experience of playing Halo 3.
I think it has better graphics than Halo 3. I'll give you
What
that.
about playing it?
I think you run through this game point to point, and you pick up the one weapon that is useful in this moment. It's laying right before you get to the encounter. You pick up that weapon that is the weapon you use, and you use that weapon
once and then leave.
It reminded me of like the biathlon, where you're like, in the Winter Olympics, where they like cross-country ski and get to the thing, have to pick up the gun and shoot the thing and set the gun down and move to the next thing. That's what you do in this game. Also, it's one of those games I like to call a Groundhog Day games, because it's like Groundhog Day. You learn by dying. You know that scene in Groundhog Day where he's like, and Larry goes to the truck, and cool breeze, and drop your thing. That's what you do, because you die so many freaking times in this game that you get to like, okay, and there's no difference in what the AI does. Guy spawns there, gotta kill him, invisible dude, shoot him, cue the giant monster, oh, I died, okay. Step 2. Guys here, kill him, visible guys. It's like that. That's how you learn this game. It beats you down until you learn it. Having said that, the multiplayer stuff is great. They made a very, very good multiplayer game. I think if you own a PS3 and you don't own an Xbox 360 and you like multiplayer games, you definitely should get this.
Yeah.
It's a great, there's a lot of really great multiplayer games coming out. Gears of War 2, Left 4 Dead, but if you only have a PS3,
a lot of good multiplayer games out
if
there.
you only have a PS3, the co-op, I don't know, it's a little bit weird that they call it a campaign. It's a series of kind of matches almost, but it's really fun. We
Horde
played
mode?
it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Horde mode, basically with Gears 2.
All
All right. So speaking of that, let's move on to Gears of War 2. So Gears of War 1 obviously was the epic
From Epic.
From Epic Games, the poster child for the Unreal Engine 3, and it is the story of a future war where these evil locusts emerge from the ground and start destroying the world, and you are a band of tough, roided out dudes who need to lay the smackdown on them. Yeah. So it's a third-person game, cover mechanic. You know, Cliff Bleszinski, the lead designer, talked about it as being a horizontal platformer, so that you're moving from cover to cover like you would a platformer vertically. More of that this time. There is a 2-player co-op through the campaign mode. There's a new horde mode that lets 5 people take wave after wave of enemy on. Dan, you referenced feelings.
Well, this is a spectacular game. The first one was spectacular. This one is more spectacular. I played it co-op. I can't imagine playing it single player. I think it's designed, there's moments that happen that are clearly designed to be cooperative, and they're wonderful, glorious moments. Carrying a crate with your buddy while fending off people.
Genius.
Brilliant. It's huge. When I played Resistance first, I was like, this game is huge. The monsters are huge. This game starts. You know, Gears of War starts, and the frickin' most massively massive things is happening. And then there's just more and more grand, huge things that make you feel like you're amongst this grand stuff. Bold level design. You know, there's a level that takes place in a dark, we were saying, as my buddy Tyson I was playing with, saying is like Cloverfield. And the level is just dim. It's not lit, like, and I actually enjoyed Resistance 2 using my flashlight, and there was some levels like that. But in this, it was just dim. No light, just a dim.
Great point.
And that is bold. That's a risk
That's a great point.
took.
Because Doom 3 sort of did that flashlighty thing.
Right.
And this,
They made a joke
all
about it. They
games
said,
do
why
that.
don't they just give us flashlights?
Yeah.
I love that.
So many levels that change it up on you. I didn't beat the games, no spoilers, but I made it to a level where it's something like Panzer Dragoon, you know, or like Sewer Shark even to a degree, and I'm like, it's so cool that, and then I'm riding, there's pirate ship levels almost, you know, like, it just makes you feel like it makes you feel as you should in all of those moments. What it has up on Resistance 2 is, and this is the only place where I thought Resistance 2 was lacking. I almost felt like it's Traitor to Body of Lies in a way, Resistance 2 to Gears of War. There's probably a better analogy out there, but the atmosphere and the lighting design and the set direction has a voice the dudes aren't the only things on roids. Everything is on roids in this game.
And you love it.
And I love roids. But
You heard it here first, boys.
It's not just like wall texture and you know, as in Resistance 2. This game is like frickin' new. It's the Yankees of
The Yankees.
video games.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean,
It's a box quote.
This is why it was really difficult for me to even spend 3 hours. I mean, the 3 hours I spent, Heather came in and goes, you know what, you're a grown adult. You don't have to be forced to play as something that you clearly don't want to play. And I was like, you know what, yeah, I'm just going to say I couldn't fucking play it. Because this game, like, we almost played through the entire game on single-player co-op through in one sitting, which was amazing, Jeff and I. And the thing I will say about playing it by yourself, I actually played through the first 3 levels before Jeff got home, and I was already like, as soon as that music, that boom, 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 I was like, ah, you know.
Yeah.
The first time I slide and hit cover, it's like, that is it. You know what I mean? Like, that is
little things.
It's little things. The first time I did an active reload correctly, I was like, yeah, why has not every single game that uses reload implemented this? It's so much, it's just layer above. And I have to say, I came in and we were already, you know, underground where I was. Jeff popped in and goes, oh, why didn't we get a cutscene? I just put it in, and I said, let's play it from the beginning again. I'm fine. And we played it straight through from the beginning.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. I didn't even play the multiplayer stuff, but I mean, I did. I played co-op, but that's the thing, is that to me, I didn't see a difference between, except that Jeff was with me when I was playing the game on campaign by myself and when I was playing on the campaign with Jeff.
Which is
to
how
me, I didn't
it should
see it
be.
as co-op. I didn't
should
see
be
it
like
as a
that.
multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. Level design is great. The scope of the game is great. I thought the inside jokes were great. The rookie who's like, sorry, I couldn't reload. I can't quite get the trick down. Like it's just but doesn't take you out of the game. Just makes you kind of giggle. You know?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that what you guys are talking about, except for that last little bit there, is the moment-to-moment action of playing.
Yeah.
That it isn't, nobody mentioned the story really, which is sort of take it or leave it and was in the first game too.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. It's the thing that the Bungie team always talked about with Halo, which is 30 seconds of fun repeated.
Right.
And this game nails that. I did finish Resistance 2, and I finished this. And I would say the end of, to be fair, the end of Resistance 2 is a lot better than the beginning is, but this game is fun immediately and constantly is a great roller coaster ride. Do I think it is the best action? Do I think it's a richer, deeper experience than Fallout 3 was? No. But I think it's like being on a fantastic ride. It's like being on the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland.
There's quite literally a part of the game that is you're on a Disneyland ride.
Yeah. Several.
Yeah,
Several parts of the game. I don't think there's a better looking game out.
Yeah.
I think it looks like a painting often. You know, another thing I want to mention about this game that I think Half-Life 2, the orange box actually, did first, and everyone should be doing, and now Gears of War 2 does, is they show you status updates of your achievement, your progress toward your achievements.
Yeah.
Every game should do that. It is so satisfying to go, oh, I'm making progress toward these big grand achievements.
Yeah. Killing a million things or whatever. Yeah.
Also, Horde mode is a inspired idea, and I'm so glad it's in this game. It's a wonderful throwback to being at the arcades and playing games like Double Dragon or Bad Dudes, you know, and feeling like there's wave after wave of enemies and how far can I get, and playing with friends. It's how every game should do co-op, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's a really wonderful game, and you know, if you haven't already got it, I'm sure
you should.
If you knew anything about it, you
I'd
probably
like to say something. In remarks I made about Fallout 3, and this is something I will now have to remember this analogy, because I talk about movies all the time, but this game is set in a horribly desolate world, just like Fallout 3.
But it doesn't take itself seriously.
But it's a gorgeous ugly.
So's Fallout 3.
I did not think so in Fallout 3.
I disagree.
I thought this game, the production design in this game, had a pretty ugly, like you said, it was all a painting. And Fallout 3 did not.
But it didn't set out to create. It didn't set out. Fallout 3 did not set out to give you the same experience that Gears of War 2 did.
Well, it's true. This is a little apples and oranges.
Completely.
RPG versus stop and pop, action third-person shooter.
The
You know what I
gameplay,
mean?
yes,
Yeah.
but I think aesthetically in designing the look of a game, I think there's a way to make unattractive pretty, and I didn't think that Fallout 3 did that. And I thought that this game was a great.
I want to ask you guys, did you get to a moment where with Dom that was very dark?
Yes.
I think the game as a whole is very dark.
Very dark, but
almost disturbing.
To me, I was like,
really?
Oh my God! I was like, are you kidding me? If I'd seen that in a movie, I would pee myself.
I think I actually was a little disturbed. I'm glad you brought that up because I was a little disturbed. There's several moments.
Yeah, the other thing.
There's several moments that are very, very dark and very disturbing, and it's almost like, well, this game is going to get into the hands of kids, and it's a little
but it is.
bleak.
I mean, it's MA. That's what it is.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Heads were exploding like crazy.
Yeah, it's funny that I didn't point out the heads exploding, but
I know. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to say what you thought because I thought it was really dark, but I like that. I like that.
Heads explode. It's cartoony. The heads are exploding. That moment is a sincere human emotion that happens.
Anyway,
I think I've seen that kind of thing in other games, and it resonated more with me than this
Let's give the people a sincere human explosion.
All right, I'll take that ride.
All right, well, before we get to our email, we do want to thank our sponsors like Dolby. Now, Dolby has sponsored our shows a number of times. We actually shot 2 episodes of Dignation at Dolby headquarters in San Francisco. The Dolby headphone technology is sponsored. What's wrong? What?
I don't know.
What is it? What's so giggly?
I think he's thinking that I'm thinking about my thing.
You guys are thinking too much. What we're super excited about that Dolby is doing right now is Dolby has put together an HD buyer's guide, okay?
Yeah. We love
Yeah,
HD.
you all right?
We love HD, but it's so
You love HD.
confusing.
It is.
Guide.
Well, but
It's
think
your
about
buyer's
it. You
guide.
go
Yeah.
into a store, there's all these different TVs, there's all these different, form factors, LCD, plasma, DLP, rear projector LCD.
Help me!
Yeah, well, Dolby has gotten together not only the Dolby Surround 5.1, 7.1, 7.2, 9.10. They put together a really simple guide to bring with you. Oh my God, you're crying.
I am. Tears.
To bring with you when you go shopping for your HD setup.
That's actually really awesome.
Dolby.com/HD guide. Print it out, take it with you. It explains all you need to know about TV, distance from TV, what type of surround sound system you should be getting for your TVs, and all the different 1080p, 720p.
It's good to know all that
1080i.
stuff when you go in too, because invariably the guys in the store don't know crap.
I know.
Especially.
Like Circuit City, 'cause they went out of business.
Okay, there you go. That's a good thing.
Anyway, Dolby.com/HD guide.
Also, we have a new sponsor, and it's Intel's Core i7 processor, which if you're a hardcore gamer like we are,
I need to upgrade mine.
yeah, this is the processor to get. They have four cores, 8 threads.
A quad of cores?
And
A quad of cores.
my favorite stand-up comedian of all time is Bill Cosby, and I used to listen to his old albums. My dad had all his old albums, and I used to listen to him when I was a kid. Loved them. He used to do this bit about a razor that had like a million blades,
Yeah.
And he was like an old jock, and he's like, little tiny hairs growing out my face, zip zip, and he would go, how do it know? That's the Intel.
Wow.
Processor. How do it know? It has like intelligent hyper-threading, so that when you need to multi-thread, when you're asking more out of the processor, it allocates. How do it know? It has the technology in it that it allocates what you need to make gaming work better, applications work better. Photoshop. Steve.
What's up? Love it.
Loves photoshopping.
But you know,
Is there some way that we can get some sort of deal on this?
Yes. Because you're watching the show, mwave.com is offering a super secret special deal. You use the promo code RADSHOW,
Different
and
codes.
you get, when you buy your i7 processor, which, dude, sounds
I'm gonna
amazing.
go buy
I want
one. I'm
one.
gonna buy
Give
one.
it to me now.
I want to buy one at M1.
But don't take our word for it. Take Bill Cosby's words for it.
How do it know?
do it know?
Little tiny hairs going out my face. All right.
So,
Talk to us.
also
Little tiny
sponsoring the show is the absurdly simple Virgin America Visa signature card.
No, genius.
Hello. That's all. That's all I got.
That is absurdly simple.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if you guys read what I'm about to tell you.
No.
I'm going to blow your minds right now.
Okay.
If you sign up for this, I didn't look at the details on how to do that. I think there's a web link. There's a web link for this that I need to look up on how to sign this.
Don't it's okay.
We'll just
keep
put the
talking.
comment up.
Yeah.
But basically, you sign up for this card, the absurdly simple Virgin America signature card, and you get a free one-way ticket to anywhere that they fly to.
On Virgin America?
On Virgin frickin' America.
It's actually kind of cool.
How do you get home?
Through November 30th.
That's insane.
gotta
From
go.
now until November 30th. Perfect time for what, guys?
Holiday
Travel.
Thanksgiving.
Christmas.
Dudes, and not only that, but when you
You know
use
what
the
I would
card,
do? I would go to Hawaii and never come back.
when you use the card, you can earn points towards free flights anywhere, seat of your choice, no blackouts or restrictions.
Amazing.
Awesome. They're really
Amazing.
great. We love those Virgin America.
So
cards.
go to the link that's right here on the screen.
And you know what's even better? They can watch Revision 3 shows
I know.
on
Yeah,
Virgin
they can watch
America.
TRS.
They have great. I never flown them personally, but
you should.
yeah,
It's
everyone
amazing.
says it's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. All right. Well, now let's get to our email, shall we?
Fly them to London?
No, that was something else.
All right,
You
let's get to our
didn't go
email,
there.
like you said.
All right, whatever. Here we go. So, this email comes to us from Jordan. Hello, Alex and Dan and Jeff. My boyfriend, Tommy, is a huge fan of your show.
Female Jordan.
Female Jordan. Well, we're gonna find out about that in a second.
So you'll see the
and
picture.
recently,
The
I was
picture.
telling him about how my dorm at the University of Florida is having a Mudfest volleyball game, which I've heard are amazing. The teams were divided by floors, and each floor had a theme. I'm on the 4th floor, so our theme was Star Wars because someone figured that the word fourth sounds like force, which it does. So we used all sorts of little puns with
May
that.
the fourth be with you.
Fourth be with you.
Use the fourth.
Luke, there is no spoon, only fourth. It's from Matrix.
Every wrong
Matrix. Matrix. We got to paint our dorm room windows to go along with the theme. Tommy thought I should send you guys in some pictures, and he said I had to ask a question too. So which is true, because this is why we're reading the thing. So my question to you three is, what is your most memorable moment in your college life that has to do with some sort of activity or event? From a new fan, Jordan, P.S. I attached pictures of the windows and a picture of my team. I'm the girl all the way on the left. Thank you, Jordan. Great question.
Great question. It doesn't hurt that there was a picture of mud-covered co-eds that came along with it.
That's pretty much the reason.
We picked it on the merits of the question,
Yes,
obviously, because of our integrity.
Yes.
We have.
True.
It's amazing integrity. It's like the Acura integrity.
But the mud
It's integrity.
reminds me of a time. Steve and I went to college together.
UCSB.
UC Santa Barbara, and famously, our freshman year, Steve and I lived on the same floor, and there was a day when it rained. So there was like flooding that year in Santa Barbara, which never happens, but although it's burning right now as we speak, hopefully that goes away soon.
Anyway, flood again.
They had flooding, and they shut down school. There was supposed to be school that day. It was a weekday, and they shut down school because it was flooding. So what did we do? We all went outside and played in the mud, and went down, because UC Santa Barbara is right on the beach. We went down to the beach, and it was pouring down rain, and we were messing, and everything was muddy, and we were like running. There's pictures. I wonder if Steve maybe can find some to put up. He's
like,
saying, no, I'm not going to. It was so much fun. It was like our entire dorm, and it's very similar to what it looks like they were doing when they were playing the volleyball. We didn't play a sport. We like made pyramids, you know, like cheerleaders would.
Sounds like a Dr.
It was
Pepper
guys and girls. It was
doesn't it?
so much fun. We had such a blast, and we all got deathly ill because we were swimming in like polluted
Santa Barbara Bay.
flood waters and stuff.
Yeah.
But lots of fun.
Good time.
Sounds like a Visa commercial.
Absurdly simple Visa one.
There you go. Me?
What's up, bro? Yeah, you are on
All
the show.
of my
and next
activities
involved no action.
in college involved working on student films. Went to Temple University's film school.
She had a very well-rounded education.
A very well-rounded education, yes. And the one thing that comes to mind also involves mud in the version of mud that is in Slumdog Millionaire. And I was working on.
What?
I was working on that. You'll see. I was working on a buddy of mine's movie called Robot Boy, and freezing in New Jersey. We're shooting in New Jersey in like an old age, not home, but like development. Freezing cold.
But you think 60 degrees is freezing cold?
So basically,
It's cold now.
The winter on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's
around
cold.
0 degrees, possibly in negatives, but circling 0. Okay. What was Dan wearing? Because as they just said, hates cold weather.
Right.
Yeah.
Your speed.
I was wearing thermal underwear. On top of that, sweatpants. On top of that, warm-up pants. On top of that,
Chicken
jeans.
suits.
Jesus, man.
Thermal shirt. T-shirt, sweatshirt,
Party hat.
hoodie, jacket.
Jesus.
That is how I literally was Christmas Story, like waddling around. I may have a picture if I do what's there, but I might not. I don't know.
I want to add a different layer. I want to like add a layer. Rainbow suspenders.
We're shooting outside. We're shooting
Big
outside.
fan of Mork?
We're shooting outside. A scene outdoors. All of a sudden, see like a flock of birds like ruin the take.
The flock of seagulls?
They didn't ruin the take with squawking or their flight. Poop. Literally attacks us with poop. I'm running, everyone's running. I literally shit in my eye.
How do you
I have
shit
had
in your
bird
eye?
poop
Oh, you
in my
didn't
eye.
shit in your
the
eye.
whiteboard that they were using to reflect, brown. Completely brown.
That's foul.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've had bird poop in my eye.
Wow, and you can still see.
I can.
Amazing.
These babies.
I always wondered
What would it feel like to have poop in your eye?
I was gonna say I always wondered why your point of view is so shitty, but
I love it.
So good, it didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt. I have a lot of fond memories of college because of the activities that I did.
activity.
Was not a fan of the school part, as I've gone on record to say. But do have a college education. Very nice. Computer Information Systems, American University. Thank you very much. I will say I
one's applauding.
had a lot of memories. I heard applause. Steve put them in. I have a lot of memories. I was in a fraternity. I guess
I hope this involves mud or poo of some kind.
not really mud or poo, because I didn't know that was a criteria. In the email, it didn't mention anything about use mud only and poo. It said some sort of activity or event.
I think it was implied.
So, all right, yeah, I get your implications. So I pledged, which was great. Had a super fun time pledging the semester that I pledged. But not only that, when I was a senior, I actually got to run the pledge program. So I was the pledge master, as it were, of a pledge class.
So you were a dick.
Omicron.
You were the spanker.
Well, all right, without getting too crazy. And I just remember one night, we did a lot of stuff late night outdoors, and we were out in this field doing some stuff, some secretive pledging stuff. And and this is where I really think I came into my own as far as the BS artist that I am, that I've grown into, because campus security came and was like, why are there a bunch, 20 people in a field at 3 o'clock in the morning? This is not how it's supposed to be. And so I had to talk our way out of being put into the little slammer that they have for offenders in the it's like prison. It's not like prison, but it's like the school has their own like place that you can go and then get written up, and there's this whole big thing.
Wow.
So I invented the story that I was a TA for a astronomy class, and I knew one of the astronomy professors very well.
Wow.
Used his name and said, we're actually out here doing a certain stargazing because today is the only day that we're able to see the certain star in about 20 minutes. If you need us to leave, we can leave, but we'd really like to stay because this is
How
a
did you
thing.
explain everyone being naked?
Ironically,
It was like Burning Man.
it
They
was
had
like
the
Burning Man.
experience.
Yeah, I just said it all has to do with LSD.
Before you get to
were
the
like-
stars, you go to
You were
show
like,
them
I
the
don't
room.
know who these naked guys are.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just me. I'm just here doing this as a TA. So it was fun. I mean, I have so many more. Like to me, college was just from freshman year on was an amazing experience. So and pledging and being in a fraternity was super fun. And the campus that we were on was not a really big Greek campus, so it was one of those things where it was like everybody, it was only like 20% of people were in this thing. So it wasn't like you go to this big campus and it's like, if I'm not in a fraternity, I can't. It's like that's all the social stuff. It was like just one other thing because I was, improv and all of that stuff. So anyway, I loved college.
Me
Thank
too.
you,
I loved
Jordan,
college.
for that
I wasn't in a
stumbling
fraternity,
back.
but I loved college.
I didn't.
They didn't. Oh, they did that. Yeah, because Heather was in a.
I wasn't in one.
Yeah. I didn't know if they did it, but then I know my girlfriend was in one and it went to UCSB. Anyway, Jordan, thank you very much. Hope you have a lot of fun there in U of F, as it were. If you would like to get your email read on the show, please feel free to send it to fans@totallyradshow.com.
That's also where you would send us a background like our buddy Alex did. And if you want to use our logo,
Which
that
we recommend.
He didn't, but if you want to use our logo, it's on totallyradshow.com. Go to downloads. You can download this background. You can download the logo to put in your own background. Send it to fans@totallyradshow.com. Also, sign up for our forums. There's an awesome community there. You can talk about this episode. You can talk about any of the things we've been talking
Resistance
about.
v. Gears.
Resistance v. Gears.
that
What did you think of Slumdog?
Yeah.
James Bond, is he back? Is he not?
Big time.
Also on the website, totallyradshow.com, is the movie we're going to review ahead of time. Exciting! Next week we are talking about a movie called Special. You may remember the trailer from years ago. The movie is finally being released. We may be talking about Bolt. We may be talking about something else. I don't know. But if you want to know for sure, go to totallyradshow.com. The movie review ahead of time is always there.
Also, if
Correct.
you're going to be in Los Angeles or live in Los Angeles and like comedy, I'm performing on the 22nd and 23rd at the LA Comedy Festival. It is, I'm on a bill with a lot of other groups. It's the best of the best all around the area. And the 22nd and 23rd, you can find out more at lacomedyfest.com or at returningchamps.com.
Correct, and the Return Champ, freaking funny. Come out if you
FTW.
can. Come out.
Thanks.
Also, if you want some TRS swag, which I know you do, head over to jinx.com/TRS. That is it for this week's edition of the Totally Rad Show. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
We've been getting some amazing rad submissions for the Little Big Planet
yes.
contest.
Don't forget
Cool.
that.
Awesome levels, but keep sending them
Keep
in. 'Cause
coming.
It's not over yet.
Not
Still
yet.
time.
Soon.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg, twitter.com/DannyTRS.
Sure, twitter.com/Alex Albrecht.
Twitter.com/Jeff Canada.
And Jeff says, stop Steve TRS. We'll see you next week.
Tweet, tweet.
You're not scared. You're not scared of bats.
Oh, way up. Are you shooting sharks?
Somebody put a raccoon in your pants. Why?